Indeed. What up, family? Willie Moore Jr. here. Another amazing episode of Truth Talks, okay? I know that you guys have been watching the show, having a really, really good time. I promise you. What up, Dwight? I want to tell everybody that we are not going to argue tonight.
Yes,
Maybe we will. As long as the team is here, there's going to be a disagreement, of course. But I want you to get pumped. I want you to get ready. It's another great episode of Truth Talks. Truth Talks is the only show that's going to make you feel it in your left side of your sha-na-na. So head on over to Foxhole right now, okay? Or you can go to YouTube. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because you're going to feel it in your sha-na-na. In fact, I want you to go right now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
What's up, y'all? I'm Ryan Cameron, syndicated radio host out of Atlanta, but you can catch my show, around the country. Just, Google me, all right? More importantly, you can catch me here on Foxhole 5 nights per week with another great episode of Truth Talks. And I got to introduce Bree Renee, who can tell you more about herself.
Hey y'all, what's up? I am Bree Renee, straight from the A. If you have never heard of me, you've been sleeping under a rock. I am a radio and television personality, and you might see me all over all of your screens on YouTube, on Instagram, because I'm an influencer and a vlogger. And I'm happy to be here to have a lot of conversations with y'all and get a lot of things off my chest, okay? Because Truth Talks is the best place to do it.
Flat out.
Now, you already know we keep it real at all times here on Truth Talk, so the realest co-host is about to come on. It is Dr. Viral, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Listen here, y'all. What's up? It's Dr. Bryant, your favorite doctor, psychology expert, life coach, best-selling author. Y'all stop looking at me. Just playing. But I'm here in my favorite place, which is for my Truth Talks family. And we're going to bring y'all the smoke, but we're going to cover a lot of current events and also inform and probably educate y'all on a lot of stuff. So stick around. We'll have a great show.
And we also have Willie Moore Jr. Tell him about yourself.
Listen, I'm Willie Moore Jr., syndicated radio host, the host of the Love You More show. And I seen it last show. Somebody said, that's Pretty Willie. Let me tell you something. Pretty Willie gone, but I'm holding on to Handsome pretty good. But of course, I am a former R&B singer who sung songs like Lay Your Body Down, Four Walls, Good Thing, and they're available right now, and we own them. So go stream them as much as you want to, all right? But I'm excited about tonight and so thankful to be here on Truth Talk with my other Truth Avengers. But it's one other person that's on the show that I think you need to get to know. Her name is Belisha the Bell. Now, Belisha is here to put a highlight on great points. You will hear a and then if she has an issue with what we're frustrated about, she'll also act as a referee. You'll hear, yeah, she ain't got the biggest bell in the world tonight because she adopted a BBL, but hey, we still gonna have a good time with her. Enjoy Truth Talks, flat out.
All right, we got a great show for you tonight, so we got to get started. Let's go ahead, man, with a little trending truths, all right?
Now, let me just take a sip of this cheek, because Michael Strahan is in trouble again,
He's
y'all.
handsome as hell. I'm sorry.
Even with the gap?
Yeah, that gap is sexy.
I'm glad, okay. Listen, it's all about this national anthem again. Like, calls mount for the $65 million Fox broadcaster to be fired after the New York Giants legend was spotted standing with his hands interlocked near his waist while the rest of his crew had their hand over their hearts. They say it's unpatriotic.
Now, for many, Strahan not following the same protocol didn't sit right. Strahan took to social media, offering a candid defense by sharing a tribute to his late father, Major Gene W. Strahan Sr., who spent 23 years serving in the U.S. military. But even after that, fans remain unconvinced.
Yeah, the NFL community wants Michael Strahan off the air for his cowardly action. Columnist and former Fox News employee Todd Starnes led the backlash, tweeting, Michael Strahan disrespected the military during a Veterans Day pregame show on Fox. The great irony is Strahan on a ship surrounded by men and women who would willingly sacrifice their lives to protect his freedom. So his behavior is not just repugnant, but it's downright cowardly. Even though Michael Strahan cleared things up, his fans still aren't buying it. They aren't backing down, urging the network to fire him. Wow. Why do y'all feel like he should catch heat for a song that celebrates a country where people who look like him aren't even treated equally or just? Are they just trying to offload that $65 million he was guaranteed?
Well, I work for the NFL, and every game I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and, as we play your national anthem. Nowhere have I ever said in 8 years working for the Atlanta Falcons, put your hand over your heart. So I think this is much to do about
like that,
nothing.
Ryan.
And they're giving that man a lot of drama
Wow.
because just because everybody else did it. This is not the Pledge of Allegiance. We all learned the Pledge of Allegiance when we were growing up. That's when you put your hand over your heart, not the national anthem.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I never thought about that. That's a really good point. The only issue or maybe agreement I have, I don't think you should fire him, but the only thing I think maybe he should have a conversation about is that I just have a huge, big respect for our military folks, veterans, and the ones who are active because they are protecting our country, and our country is strong because of them. And so with that, I don't think the whole hand of the heart, but maybe he didn't mean it. But I think if the hand of the heart represents respect,
Right.
possibly I think I would have done it, not thinking race. I would have thought I'm honoring the men and women I'm standing with. But then again, I mean, I just think it's so tough. That's like it's like a gray area with that. I don't think he should get fired.
I think they just after straight hand.
Yeah.
Like I just think that's what it is. I mean,
Well,
at
do
the
you
end of
think
the
he should
day,
get fired?
no, never.
I don't think he should ever get
$65 million,
fired.
let the man live. He already
Yeah.
came on live. He said that he helped so many men and women who have been in service. He even represented his father.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, I think his apology should be warranted. If they continue with these antics, just let me know they just got something out for him.
And we've been talking about cancel culture on the show in earlier times. It's like all of a sudden, if you apologize and then you apologize, then you make a post and then you apologize again, you are not going to make everybody happy. Sooner or later, somebody's going to say something and do something that's going to try to get you canceled.
And don't we see the trend? Another black man with a lot of money.
See?
That's where they're coming for. So I
canceled.
think that's exactly what it is. But Tyrese Gibson has vowed to protect his assets from the mothers of his children by any means necessary. The singer and actor recently voiced his willingness to commit physical violence to ensure the mothers of his 2 children do not receive access to his property and earnings.
Now, Tyrese went to his Instagram and he said, and I quote, "I ain't giving you ish. Like I fought to earn this life, I'ma fight to keep it. I'ma shoot, stab, and kill over mine." He added, "I'ma protect this bottom line at all costs." I actually seen it on Instagram and I said, oh God, where's his team?
Right.
Where is his
Where
team?
is his team? He needs some.
Tyrese has been very vocal about his legal battles. I just call him Ray J with no hair, all right? With his ex-wife Samantha Lee regarding him paying child
You go,
support.
Ryan.
The hitmaker, I'm sorry, I know it's your point. He's accused Lee and her attorneys of cracking the prenuptial agreement. The singer has also said that the judge presiding over his and Lee's case recently raised his child support payments from $3,600 to $10,690 per month. Did y'all see how he canceled live concert in the middle of the show to avoid the sheriff arresting him on stage for back payments? And I learned this a long time ago. You can not pay, child support, but you will go to jail.
Yeah, they're gonna lock you up for them child support.
You will get
Ryan,
locked
you
up.
experienced it firsthand?
No, because I paid mine. Let me tell you something. I'm still trying to come back to this day.
Come on, listen.
Do
to this
you
day.
think Tyrese is wrong?
No, here goes the thing. Tyrese and I, we share the same lawyer. I turned out
Lord,
really good. His was a little bit unique. I mean, ultimately, like if you come in with your case solid and you giving all truth, at the end of the day, like she coaches you to let you know, like, hey, if it's a hard truth, just tell the truth. So I don't know the ins and outs of his case, but I do know he has a really good lawyer. She loves people, and she actually for men. She fights so hard for men, and I don't know what happened in his case.
Well, this is what happens most of the time. They will put down, your assets, and they'll show how much you make a year, and they'll show how much they make a year. Tyrese with Fast and Furious and Baby Boy and all these other
yeah, he
movies,
taking that
and she
shit.
worked for the city or for the state. Them numbers weren't gonna add up.
Yeah.
But it's also about how people report their finances. Like,
That's what I'm talking
like for
about.
example, Cheyenne Bryan is broke, but Dr. Bryan Institute does very well. So Dr. Bryan Foundation does very well. So it's all about Tyrese can have things set up in different ways or different funds.
So you are hiding your assets.
No,
I'm just kidding.
She works for the company.
I work for, thank you, Bree.
She works for the company. I don't understand what the big issue is. So I feel like if you are a very wealthy man and you make a lot of money, why don't you want your kids to live that lavish lifestyle?
A lot of times the women, they do so much. Like I often would say the same thing. I would say, man, if I was if I got it, I'm gonna give it, got it, you give it. But when you start seeing people being manipulative, vindictive, and just making it so hard for you, like I'm just thankful that he still desires to be a part of his child's life.
I don't think you should let that arguing make you not want to be a part of your child life. But that's actually something we're going to get into a little bit later in the episode. One thing about Black people is we're creative, especially when it comes to food.
Yes.
Well, there is this man on the gram who goes by Chef Kenny Eats, and he's trending right now for making chicken fried watermelon with Kool-Aid sauce on the side, which is a recipe for disaster if you're trying to unbig your back during this holiday season. Okay, let's take a look.
Chicken fried watermelon wings with grape Kool-Aid sauce. You're gonna bust your watermelon down the middle, then you're gonna outline your wings. Flour, egg, flour, do that twice and fry them up till they golden brown delicious. You're gonna make that grape Kool-Aid sauce. Ooh, look how fire that look. Dip it in that sauce and listen to that crunch.
See? Actual watermelon.
Y'all, that look nasty. But I gotta ask, would y'all try this, or is this a level of blackery that you just refuse to partake in?
This is too much negrosity.
Negrosity at its
Too much
finest.
negrosity for me.
I'm definitely not doing fried watermelon.
Fried watermelon?
Listen, I barely want to do. That's a lie. I eat fried chicken, but I'm not doing fried watermelon.
Man,
No.
last time I seen a watermelon, I was on another TV show out in LA, and it was like, well, today, guys, we're gonna have a watermelon eating contest. I said,
Did you participate?
Let me tell you something. I said, you know what? This will be the last day I will ever work here if you see me with a watermelon eating contest.
Yeah.
Up next, can Donald Trump run for yet another term? Now, the law says no, but clearly he flies above the law. We'll answer that question when we come back on Truth Talks.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
And welcome back to True Talks, where we not only cover the latest hot gossip, but we keep you posted on the political news that is most relevant to our community. So Donald Trump hasn't even started his second term yet, and folks are already freaking out about him overstaying his welcome.
Now, technically, Trump cannot run for a third term in 2028. The 22nd Amendment clearly says that in the Constitution. But you know how this president is. You know, since Donald Trump don't follow nobody's rules,
Right.
I don't necessarily know if he's gonna follow this Constitution either. You just gotta be honest. Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you said, he's broken all these rules, especially when it comes to appointing people in his cabinet. Like, it's like picking his a kickball team. I don't know who's gonna be.
I thought a lot of that stuff was like jokes, and then it came in. I was like, oh my God, they were serious. I thought it was an AI joke.
I mean, I think that being that, listen, anybody who chose a Superior Court judge and made a whole qualified immunity as a president while he was not even the president can do anything when he gets back in office. He damn sure can. All he has to do is change up the Constitution to say that a person can serve another term for 4 years, 10 years, or people don't have to vote.
Yeah, let us not
All
forget.
you have to
That's
do
what
is
he
change the
said.
Constitution. We are a law-abiding country. We abide by laws.
And Donald Trump, I mean, when he was in office last time, appointed more than 200 federal judges. So he's already put the fix in to if anybody is challenging it in a certain state. I think the problem is the fact that he said that you will never have to vote again if you vote for him this time.
Yeah, Ryan, I was going to say Trump has said that he would like to stay beyond his next term, hinting to the House Republicans that they could prolong his presidency.
I think that if he could do it, he will.
I don't think people need to quit. They need to quit thinking that he's playing around. It's like when we had the MAGA guy on here, we was bringing up points, and Willie and him got into a little disagreement because he believes like, no, I don't really take that serious. He's doing everything that he said he was going to do times 10. And now he got Elon Musk as his best buddy. Who knows what else is going to happen?
I have no idea what's going to happen to America, but I know that man is serious.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you know, I love the fact that we have certain guests to tell us, like, hey, man, we're going to have to be a little bit more crafty, you know, knowing that, hey, you know, this may be a very unique thing because anybody who speaks against can suffer consequence.
Okay. If it rhymes, that means it's right.
Now, he also said some other things. Here's what he said at a religious convention amongst conservatives. He said Trump is dead serious about never leaving office. We all know that he wants to be a dictator like Putin. When people tell you who they are, like Oprah says, what, believe them?
Believe him.
You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed, it'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Do y'all see how he played on the American people's heartstrings, though? He said, I love y'all Christians, but I'm not Christian. He keeps telling y'all the truth, and then he dropping them little droplets, and we need to follow the trail to the you know.
Man, one of my guys, he is super MAGA. He's a MAGA guy. He's out of Florida. He's Cuban, and he worked with them. And he said that Elon Musk and Putin, they speak often, almost every day.
Well, of course they do.
This is the trail.
Those are the sideline
What are they talking
conversations.
about?
They're talking about money and, and business and deals.
I'm thinking, I would love to say that it's business, but I'm also thinking about the character. Like, a lot of this stuff, conspiracy theorists believe that he's attempting to become a dictator. Then, you know, what would be the best thing to do? Birds of the feather.
Putin.
Come on.
Together.
I mean, and they're talking about some of the things that Putin is doing, you know, and when this whole thing with Ukraine, I heard something today that they were talking about the tactic is, you know, either surrender or starve. And you got pregnant women who are out there who are still trying to have babies and they have no food. You got children that they're starving to death. And, you know, people don't want to talk about it, but Putin he is about that life. And if he's cohorting with Elon Musk, man, who knows what's going to happen? But what kind of tactic is that to say surrender or starve?
Or starve? That's crazy.
That's a dictatorship tactic. That's a third world country tactic.
When you think
which
about
is where Trump is trying to drive us to.
When you think about this mass deportation, where are we going to put these people? I continuously tell you, they're going to put them in concentration camps. It's not going to be a whole lot of food. It's not going to be a whole lot of water. And then, of course, there's already been commentary that they're eating the dogs, they're eating they're eating the cats. And, of course, that's a joke. But when you start putting cameras on them and they haven't eaten and they fighting and they're arguing, he says, look at these people. Look, they're animals. They're going to do this. And it's sad that you'll put them in inhumane areas just to prove a point. And then at the end of the day, they continuously tell us that that's $80 billion per 1 million people. Right. So if it's 21 million, y'all do the math, it just seems like it's going to become an economic crisis. And then you can just do whatever you want because they won't be depicted as people. They'll be depicted as people who are taken away from the economy, and they'll be known as animals.
Isn't that the same thing they did to black people in the past? Like they continue to put us, and Jewish people, they put us in these inhumane conditions, like you said, to continue to push that narrative and control the media.
Well, let's go further. Trump just did it with the Mexicans at the border. What do you think he did with them? He just separated the families. Kids were being raped, molested, sex trafficking, torn from their families. I mean, but not only did he do it, he didn't do it in private. I seen it on the TV. Like that's first dairy traumatizing to the families. All of the Americans who are watching, that's secondary trauma. Right. The kids are screaming and hollering, being ripped from their parents. Like that is inhumane and crazy.
Yeah.
Like you have no type of heart or compassion whatsoever. And so when he says, I love my Christians, but I'm not Christian, all I hear is I love my Christians, but I'm an antichrist.
Yeah.
If you ain't Christ, then you anti to me.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
And we see how the shift in America has changed. Remember when Elian Gonzalez, the little boy, they broke into the house and they took him by gunpoint and everybody was up in arms and so saddened by that. But now look at this today. Like people are so like mad about what's going on with the border crisis. They are not caring. That was one of the main things that people voted for. They was like, immigration is too much and somebody's gonna come in here and take my job and white people are gonna no longer be the majority. It is something that is on the top of the agenda.
Well, Trump said out loud at one of his conferences or media conferences, he said, hello, black people, don't you see that the Mexicans are taking your jobs?
Right.
So he put out there the narrative that one group of minorities is taking the other group of minorities jobs, which does what? Puts us more in a crabs in a bucket
Barrel
situation.
mentality.
Yeah, and then divide and conquer. So he's pretty much saying, look, animals, whoever is here, y'all are enemies. There's already enough division between the black and brown community as it is.
And they actually divided the brown community even more because there were Latinas that actually turned out and voted for Trump because they thought they were going to get immunity when it comes to this deportation. They were like, well, we're separate. I'm not like them. And there was a lot of social media influencers and people, content creators that went around and interviewed these Latinos and brown people and asked them like, did you vote for Trump? And why did you vote for Trump? And they were like, yeah, because I want to keep my job and I don't want other immigrants
to come in and take my job. I had something happen today on my show. It was the ludicrous conspiracy theory I have ever heard. We talk about all the E. coli outbreaks and how things like carrots and all these things that are at Trader Joe's are all being recalled and people are being hospitalized and dying. And one of the callers called in and he said, man, I think that there are people who are Hispanic and who are, Latino, who are actually going into the fields where they pick these things and are actually using the bathroom and defecating on these items to contaminate them to mess up the food supply. And he was dead serious.
And he
Too much, man. Hell, time.
That's kind of wild, but maybe it's not too far.
I know it's got to be some type of cleaning before it get to us.
You know how that might not be as far-fetched as we think because he just keeps getting further and further away with Trump. Do y'all feel like he is going to try to repeal the 22nd Amendment with Republican majorities in the Senate and House?
I don't put nothing past anything that he said.
Can somebody clear what the 22nd Amendment is for everybody watching? I know I do, but I mean so that people know what it is.
Well, it's the right to vote for a president every 4 years, and that you have to
have term limits.
To have term limits, and that you're only allowed to serve two terms.
Yeah.
Bree, I'm so happy that the millennial, the youngest one on here, did that. Thank you, sis. Y'all heard it.
I thought Ryan was about to do it, but yeah.
You got it. You got that, Bree. What you talking about?
I paid attention in social studies.
Hey. When we return, we're going to talk about a topic near and dear to my heart. So keep it right here on Truth Talk.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on, man, let's split a ride home.
And welcome back to True Talks. Most of us are still uncertain about the future ahead, and the election's over, and now, more so than ever, black fathers who want to protect their children. So let's get into it and look at who black fathers really are, beyond the stereotypes and the myths placed upon us.
Now, the stereotype of black fathers being absent are still so dominant, even when the studies show that black fathers are among the most involved. Do me a favor, take a look.
With me. And you'll be
baby.
in a world
Can't wait to have mine.
of pure imagination.
Come on. Yeah.
Reach out, touch what was.
Wow. I believe that we probably need to have more of this depicted in mainstream media
Most
to
definitely.
change the narrative, because fathers are doing a really, really good job to be good fathers to their children.
You know, Willie, I was gonna ask that. Do you feel like the problem that is that pop culture and the narrative that the media showcases, how do we go about fixing it?
You know, I think the thing is, we know who we are as black fathers. You can continue to try to push that stereotype, but it's nobody on my team, no matter what their children are doing, that's gonna leave and walk
Yeah,
away from
and-
their children no matter what.
And first of all, that's a false narrative. Almost every single black man that I know that has kids, even if their kids are from multiple different women, they are, no, I gotta say this because that's a false narrative. They're very active fathers. I had an active father. The two men that are here are extremely active men. I've seen them, I've seen Willie firsthand be active with his boys and his girls too. And so that's a false narrative, and I wanna clear that up. I've been in my field for 17 years as a psychology expert, and I have literally seen men in my seat, in my chair, in session, either in tears when the divorce happens. Ryan said it on here that one of the hardest things for him with divorce was not being able to see his baby grow and his kids every day in the house. That's a false narrative. We need to push the true narrative, which is that black men do show up for their kids while they're married, when they're divorced, if they're not married, or if they are just a baby daddy. Y'all are showing up. I went running at the park the other day. It was like 20 black men, all with their like infant kids, no mothers around. And I was in awe. And I had to stop. I told each and every one I was running, I was like, oh my God, I love seeing you with your kids. You're so amazing. And I make sure that I always compliment. And this is a very sensitive subject for me because it's been right at a year from my father passing away.
Right.
And my dad was a daddy, a father, and he was super, super involved. And I was one of his biggest investments. So that's a false narrative.
And that's what I always say. I tell my kids that you are my biggest investment. And anytime I have a conversation with them, it's all about, keep on being great, but I have not been my children's friends. We are not friends. I am your father. And I will tell you in a minute, I told my son the other day, he got sick and he started to not really respond to my text messages. And I said, now, when you need something, when I recommend something, you're the first person to answer a text. And I said, I will fly down to Miami, and if I knock on your door, it's going to be a totally different conversation that we're about to have.
Yeah, well, I'm a little different. I believe that a good friend is gonna love you, but they also gonna check you. And so I always say, like, my children are my friends. If I can say I'm a friend of God, then why can't my children also be friends? It doesn't mean that I'm always friendly. Sometimes I'm tough. A real friend is gonna challenge you. They're gonna see the greatness in you. Like my son right now, he's at the University of Mississippi. He's never paid a college bill. He's never had to get a student loan. He never had to do any of that. But now he's about to go to grad school, and I had to be a little challenging. I'm like, yo, you gotta go out there and you gotta get it. Right. We gotta start looking at this rent and saying, okay, how much do I wanna pay? And then he finally called back and he was just like, all right, Dad, I got the vision. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, submit it to me and let's make it work. That's a good friend to challenge you in the areas that they see you.
Yeah, but I'm more old school than you, man, because I'm like this, nuck if you buck. You know what I'm saying? So we can talk about all that as long as when the SCAD bill comes and when the grad school bill comes and when the University of Miami bill comes and when I write that check and I got this payment plan going on, I don't give a damn what you talking about down there. When I say you got to move, you got to move. We are not friends, and I am not friendly. But go ahead, I'm gonna let you finish,
I
Jay.
want to say this really quick, though, because both, I think, can work, just being with my little psychology hat on, but my dad was more of you. He said, listen, baby, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm your daddy. I'm not here for you to like me. I'm here to parent you. There's going to be things you're going to hate me for today, you're going to thank me for later. And to this day, he was 100% right. But to your point, Willie, there were a lot of times where we would joke and clown and play and be playful, and it felt real friendly, but he definitely was old school like you, Rye.
Yeah.
Now, the real question is, are we doing enough as black fathers to tell our own stories? You know, for me, and I've said this on my radio show a lot of times, right? My father, for most of my adult life, was an alcoholic. You know, whenever I would do something, I get an accolade or I get an award. I go over to Bankhead, where I'm from, in Zone 1 in Atlanta, which is where T.I. and a lot of other people are from. I would always be very high on my horse and proud of myself. And then somebody would say, hey, man, I gave your dad $1 today. Or I saw your dad laying in the street and I helped him get up. And one of the things about that I remember going to all of my son's baseball games, all of his basketball games, all of my children's games, because whether you believe it or not, if you're watching this right now, when kids are doing those things, they look up in the stands at the plays and at the recitals, and they looking for their parents. And I made 100%. A very good point that I want to always be there so they would know that I was there to support them. And it's a big, big deal. Even at graduations, I'm always going to be there. And whether or not me and their mother get along or not, they are always going to be able to look up there and see their father.
Those are always your babies, right?
Yeah. So, you know, we're going to throw to a clip, and I want you to check this out.
Divorced father, but I didn't stop fathering. One custody of my kids, and I never stopped fathering. By myself, working at CBS and working at the NFL Network, never stopped fathering. So I've been there the whole time. So no matter what life presents you, don't stop doing what you've been called to do. Never stop fathering. I built my life around my kids. The moves I made was based on my babies, not me. They was based on what was good for them. So I take pride in that. Ain't no baby daddy. I'm a father.
Shout out to Deion Sanders. He's an amazing black father as well. And back to what we were talking about earlier, I feel like a way that we combat these narratives is showing this more on social media. I feel like I've witnessed a lot of black fathers loving, like the clip that we looked at earlier. And even some of my friends, shout out to DC Young Fly. I have to continuously commend him, because after my friend passed, he has stepped up to be a full-time dad with 3 kids and doing it on his own. And also, not only do we not give respect a lot to the black fathers, but the black uncles, the black coaches, because y'all can, the godfather figures in our community, because a lot of times y'all not only father y'all own children, but the other children that y'all impact or encounter as well.
And I think you said something to me earlier. We were talking a little bit.
I was going to say that, Ryan.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that. I wanted to give Ryan a shout out, because I was telling my mom, I was like, I think Ryan is a great black man in this industry, which is hard to come across in the industry, is, you know, other men that aren't creepy sometimes as a woman. But I was like, I think Ryan holds himself at a higher standard.
Not creepy?
He's not creepy. He's not, and he's never been inappropriate or weird. And I have so much respect for him, because I feel like he is a father to daughters. So I think he looks at me sometimes as like one of his own. And I think that you carry yourself, and you've impacted other women in the industry that I've spoken to as well because of that. So I commend you on that. And again, that's how the black fatherhood extends just past your household.
Yeah, he treats you like a daughter and treats me like a little sister. Picks on me the whole time.
And Willie treat me like a sister.
And what am I? Chopped liver. But
Willie treat me like his sister. You do.
But honestly, do you guys think most black men feel comfortable being vulnerable enough to show and share their stories? Ryan, I want to know, like, is it tough to be silent about what we're going through?
No, I tell my son everything. When I see that he's going through something, and I know he may not be watching this, but when he had it, my kids are serial monogamist. When they fall in love, they fall in love so hard. And they be all the way in. And I be sitting back and I be like, oh my God. I remember my daughter was like, she was in a junior in high school, and she was dating a senior, and he was going off to Yale to play football. And she was like, yeah, we've never done anything, and I'm still a virgin dad, and I know he's gonna come back. And I was like, baby,
he gone.
He's going up to Yale. I said, it's gonna happen. And she's like, no. But I had to tell her, you know, I gotta keep it 100 with him. You know, when my son had his first little heartbreak, he was so distraught about it. I was like, man, we've all gone through it. The love that you have is about, you know, embracing the heartbreak. You know, I saw something today. It was like, you know, even God's throne can be shook. by the pain of a heartbreak. And I was like, oh my God, I had to write it down. I was like, I had to put this down to put it on Junior style.
That's good. That should be a song, man.
You know, it's so funny you talk about that because I remember my dad. He's 93 years young now. He adopted me when I was 3 months old, but he never hid his pain, right? He never like hid what he was going through. He worked 16 hours a day, but he would show me like, this is my schedule, this how I do it, and this how men work. And so when I, in 2007, was forced to be put out of our home, living in the basement of my mother-in-law's home, they would have to come to the office and they'll see all this stuff written down. And I was like, you know, one day we're gonna do this. We're gonna be $1 million business straight from the basement. They're not gonna even know. And I told them, you don't always have to put your hands in everything where your feet are planted, right? So you can invest in different things and show this. Our first land that we ever bought, my children are there. When it came to college, I wrote this down when he was in the 9th grade, Khalil. I said, you will not have a student loan on my watch and you will not have to go take an athletic scholarship. I hurt myself. I did not enjoy my college experience on a full ride scholarship. So there were some things that you just teach them. And then finally, even today, because I've gone through divorce, I have an injured son. But as I prayed for him today, I said, you know what? God never gives up on me when I do wrong or when I feel like it's wrong. So as a father, this is my best opportunity in life to show him what a father really is, that I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna get you the help. I'm gonna love you through it. I'm gonna keep on hugging you. I'm gonna keep on speaking to him. This morning, before he went to school, I said, you are smart. You are intelligent. You are loved. You are cared for. You are honored. You're gonna do great things. And guess what? I cannot wait to see you after this. Because guess what? I know that it's tough. I know that it's tough being a young man, 16, 17 years old, and you seeing all this stuff on Instagram, but it's always more important when they know that my daddy ain't gonna never leave my side.
Period. And I gotta say this to Willie really quick because I gotta give you your flowers because I've seen you pull up and show out and be there for exactly what you're talking about. And I'm getting emotional over it. You're getting emotional. Please don't.
I want to mess up my makeup.
Because I've seen you. I've witnessed it with my own heart and my eyes, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I want to give Tyrese a little pushback. And then Tyrese has been on the show, and he's a great friend. But, you know, he's having all of these disagreements with the mothers of his children. I will never speak ill about somebody that brought me the greatest joy in my life. And I have said many times, you know, according to my agreement, according to my arrangement, according to my legal document, when my child either got a 4-year degree or turned 23, then my arrangement and agreements were no longer valid. I didn't have to do anything else. But my daughter turned 23 on November 15th, and I called her and I said, now you know one thing that's not gonna ever happen, that your father is not gonna be there to support you whatever you do, because I will never stop being your father at all ages, no matter what it's gonna be. And I think that's the difference between people that are out there right now that are trying to fight their baby mamas and go through all that, and what it does to the children, to the household. Of course, we know that y'all don't get along. And a lot of times, you either planting a seed that you still wanna get with them, or you're creeping over there in the low and you still hitting it, and now you got this woman confused because she's thinking one day you're gonna come back home, and the next thing you know, you out there with somebody else, and now she's like, I'm gonna do whatever I can to ruin this man. And another thing too, some people have never been broken up with. They have never had somebody say, you know what, I'm done with this. And I think that Tyrese is one of those people. No one has ever told him no. No one has ever, she packed her bags up during COVID. Do you know how much you gotta be tired of somebody to leave during a global pandemic?
Well, let me say this, hold on, right? Somebody had, I'm gonna go there, I don't even care. Someone has told Tyrese no.
No.
I'm just gonna go there. And Ty, you know, listen, I love Ty, that's my boy, but someone has told Tyrese no.
Who was she?
Yeah, who was it?
Well, now let's talk about something else.
That's her name, Ron, with Cayenne.
As we know, now mass incarceration and unemployment play into the idea that black men are not present in their children's lives. We have to address the trauma these systemic issues have given to our black families. Of course, when we know that African-American people, especially young men, back in the day, you know, they was locking us up for crack cocaine, and cats was out there moving big pounds in weight, getting half the time. And so they did their best to make us extinct in the home.
Yeah, I can't say that. I think, like I said, all the black fathers that I know personally, none of them are incarcerated. All of them are married or still in their children's lives and still active. I can't say that that's a big statistic. I think that's still a narrative that they continue to push, and I don't think that's necessarily true.
And the fathers that I have known who have been incarcerated and came out, whether they're my clients or not my clients. I'm telling you, they come out and they just hit the floor running being fathers.
Yeah.
Like they're like, where's my daughter? Where's my son? Let me go school shopping. Let me get, they trying to catch her for time. I have one client, she's 14, dad got out of prison, and he gets out of prison, he's an Amazon truck driver, and she's so cute. She goes, Dr. Bryant, my daddy sits on the phone with me all day while he drives his Amazon truck on FaceTime, just having conversation, building relationships with her, trying to make it for that lost time.
Yeah.
That's what a black father is.
We got more. You know what? The conversation continues. More fatherhood talk up next on Truth Talks.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie.
Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
And welcome back to True Talks. We're back talking about black men and fatherhood, community programs, and mentorship initiatives like Dad Gang create spaces to reshape the narrative around black families and communities.
Now, Dad Gang is out here creating a safe space for black dads, defying stereotypes, shattering myths, and celebrating black fatherhood every single day. But what do we do to ensure these programs not only reach fathers, but change the perception of African American fathers?
I saw something today, and I wanted to talk to Dr. B about it. It said that there are 58 million Americans who have been diagnosed with some type of mental challenge, with the actual diagnosis, but only 4.1% of therapists out of the 30,000 plus are people of color. So with that kind of disparity, how are you going to talk to your children who have TikTok and Instagram and all these social pressures that they're going through to open up? So I always say to my son, I give him the examples of things that I have gone through myself so he doesn't feel alone, because a lot of times with the young people, man, they just feel like they're on the island by themselves and they feel kind of embarrassed about the fact. I mean, I go on a limb and say this. When my son, I found a calendar up under his bed. It was of the Atlanta Hawks cheerleaders.
Oh,
And when I pulled that calendar out, that boy, he turned about 18 shades of green. He was not happy about that.
Cute.
But what I did is I said, listen, man.
How old was he, Ryan?
He was about maybe 10, you know what I'm saying?
them pages
And I
was
went and I got him.
Cute.
I got him when he turned like 13, a six-pack of condoms.
Yeah.
And he said, what is this for? I said, well, I know what you're doing.
I know what you're doing.
And I don't want to talk about it, but I know what you're doing. But I want you to do it with this condom on. And he said, why do you want me to do it with the condom on? I said, because when it comes time for the real thing, when it comes time for a real person to be in your life and it's a real person there, you'll be used to having a condom on instead of coming in here and bringing me a grandchild. And that was one of those things where he didn't understand it, but I guarantee you right now, when he meets one of them people down at the Grove, that boy be strapped, boy. And that's when he was 10 years old.
Shout out to Zone 1. That man said, hey, if you gonna do it, do it.
Ryan said get used to it. Don't
Yeah,
get used to it. Don't get used to the skin.
Because you go in there all of a sudden raw and naked, and you like, oh, and then now he go, oh, wah. No.
I told my son, I said, now listen, you getting to that age now. Yeah. So here's the thing. If I gotta take care of the grandbaby, guess who I can't take care of now? Because you're gonna have to go out there and do what you have to do. But what I've been teaching my sons, because they didn't teach me this in the neighborhood.
Right.
Like they was like, Will, hit everything that ever moved. So I had a cheating problem. I'm promiscuous. I'm doing all of this stuff because at 12 years old, I'm in every club before I'm 13 years old. I'm with all the dope boys. I'm a baby gangsters, Crisscross, ABC, and I'm with a boy group called the Baby Gangsters. We like the tougher version of them both. So I'm touching every single club. So the OG's telling me, oh, this the one. Oh yeah, doing something, break Lil Willie, boom, 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 boom. So I'm 13 years old with grown women. And that was really, really unique. But in order to break the cycle, to take away all that stuff, I tell my children all the time, you are just as important as she is, bro.
Right.
Like, make sure that you don't give of yourself. I'm so thankful that even right now, like my sons are still, virgin, with the exception of my oldest one, and he's only had one partner. But I was like, man, be very, very, very careful. Nah, we keep it 100.
And one of his sons is 16 is still a virgin.
He's like, no, I won't do that because I'm teaching them the power of being able to have that type of discipline.
Right.
Hey, daddy done already got a divorce. Daddy done already made mistakes. But when it comes to drugs and alcohol, I'll end that. That's not going in my bloodline. But when it comes to divorce, womanizing, and all that stuff, you got to go break that cycle because, I did it a little too late, and just being honest. And they know what the truth is, and I do my best to be honest with them, and I'm letting them know what has to leave the bloodline.
Willie, I'm so proud of you.
Y'all.
I'm proud of you right now.
I commend y'all for having those tough conversations because in our community, we don't really see, it's hard for parents to have those uncomfortable conversations because a lot of parents be like, well, nobody had them conversations with me, so you don't really know how to initiate them. But I think that's what breaks the cycles is sitting down, saying the things you wish somebody had said to you. And even like you mentioned about your father being emotional or showing you the struggles the entire time he went through, because we do as children growing up feel like, well, my parents don't understand. They never went through anything like I have. So I commend y'all for continuously showing it and being vulnerable. Vulnerability is a strength.
Yeah, indeed. Dr. Bryant, why do you think some black women hold on to the stereotype of black men being absent fathers? How much is just based on personal experience? Like, what are your thoughts, Dr. Bryant?
Daddy issues.
Daddy issues.
Straight up, it's very easy. Daddy issues. How a young girl, listen, a woman is what her daddy makes her, especially when it comes to relationships. And a man is what his mama makes him. And so whatever she perceives her father to be is what she would perceive you to be. So whatever projection or pain was supposed to be projected onto him or discussed with him, you're going to catch when you trigger her. That's just what it is. And the issue is she doesn't know she's triggered in that moment. And she doesn't know you ain't him in that moment. She doesn't know that you ain't the one that's supposed to be getting the flame and the fire and the spiciness, but you're going to get it. And you know this all too well. I'm just saying, you're going to get it. And so when you're in that place of no awareness and you have a black man who also has mommy issues and daddy issues, you got two people that trauma bond. And all you're going to get is inflamed trauma.
Right.
And that brings in what? Hostility. And then hostility brings in abuse, even if it's not physically. And so these women are unable to get past themselves and get past their pain. And so when you have a man who can say, baby, listen, like, I'm not him. I'm your man. I'm your husband. Like, I love you. I'm here to respect you. When you have that, then that shifts the woman. Now, it ain't gonna shift her overnight, but it helps her gain awareness of, wait a minute, who is this pain and this resentment really supposed to be pointed at? And when she learns who to point it at, then she can have the awareness to not point it at you. But you have to be willing to facilitate her in that.
Yeah, and we should talk about what roles mothers are playing in shaping children's perspectives of their fathers, and is everyone else accountable? Because one thing I don't like, and like you were saying earlier, I commend you for saying that as well, that you don't speak ill about your children's mother around, especially publicly or around your children. And I feel like a lot of moms create that distance relationship or those daddy issues with their children by speaking ill about the father when they're not around.
But I love that, Bree, because Willie, we talked about this. Sometimes it's a challenge because when you're trying to protect your kids by not talking bad about their mother, because talking about their mother could be the truth they need to hear.
Right.
You end up with a child who's broken with a false narrative because you were really protecting him, them, and their mama.
Right.
And so that child now has impairments because you chose to protect the mama and not protect the child. And sometimes telling the child the absolute truth and being transparent with them is what sets them free, so they're not stuck trying to figure out, how do I deal with my pathology and my dysfunction and these distorted thoughts, because I have a different narrative of my father than I do my mother, because my father chose to protect my mother. A lot of men, especially black men, they're in that predicament, and I just hate when they're in that place. It's so stuck for them.
My homegirl, her mother and father, they divorced early on, and she said that her mother always said, your dad was a bad partner, but he's not a bad father. And so she loves that. She sticks by that all the time. She was like, my daddy ain't good to other women, but he good to me.
You know, I think a better question is whether or not co-parenting can thrive in a society that pits men and women against each other so much. You know, the one thing I do want to say about this co-parenting thing, shout out to the mother of my child, Ebony, the mother of my oldest son. When we decided that we were gonna split, we never went to court. We never talked about, like, I'm gonna put child support on you or anything. We came up with an agreement, and we said, I told her, I'm gonna give you my word that when I go up, you gonna go up. No matter what I do, I'm gonna always give you an increase. As increase comes, we had that. And she said, this man's so good to this boy, like, I don't never want to mess up that relationship. So when she married Mike, which I love you, Mike, shout out to Mike Joy, he's a pastor out in Memphis, and him and I, we just became best friends. In fact, I enjoyed talking to him a lot more than talking to her. And I remember one time, she had made me so mad about something, and he called me, and he said, man, can we just have a real conversation? He said, you going at this all wrong, champ. She getting some bad counsel right now. You gonna have to call her. And so once we got through that, when Khalil got in high school, whenever I go to Memphis, I stay with them. My family stays with them. And we called ourselves the Moore Joy Clique. And so when we go out, you got Moores and you got the Joys, and we all come together. But that's two black men with a common interest, which is the child and a strong belief in Jesus Christ.
And that takes extreme emotional intelligence and maturity.
Yeah.
So, you know, Bree, do you think the stereotype about black fathers is changing among the younger generations?
Absolutely. I think that we've seen a lot more rappers, entertainers, content creators showcasing their fatherhood. It's a family, it's a black father out there. Oh, I forgot their name, but he runs their family page, and all his content is about him helping the wife. That's why they got 4 kids. I'm like, I would keep having kids by you too. All this help you doing around the house. And even shout out to G Herbo, who is typically like a gangster. He was actually hanging out with Kai Cenat on the streaming platform this weekend, and he had his son by Ari up there with him. And as his son got emotional, everybody commended him on this, because as his son, a little boy, got emotional, he didn't tell him, like, man up, stop crying, don't lie. Yeah, he consoled him, and he made him feel good. His voice was clapping for him. Yeah, and he encouraged him. So I think our generation, because of social media, are seeing black fathers more.
That's so good.
Well, the bottom line is that representation matters.
Yep.
So
Yes, Lord.
we have to see more diverse and authentic portrayals of black men in healthy relationships with their children. It shapes how people view themselves and others. We still got a lot of work to do to reverse these stereotypes about black fathers, but the truth is out there. When we come back, we're gonna do Famous FaceTime and get someone that you already know on the line, so stay tuned. More Truth Talks is up next.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
And welcome back to True Talks. Now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Each of us will FaceTime one of our famous friends and see how they feel about something we discussed. And it's time for Dr. Brian.
Dr. Brian.
All right, y'all. Mind your business.
All right, come on, I'm ready. Let's go.
Hold on.
Let me
Come
see.
on. Y'all know who this is? Y'all know, baby. Y'all know Justin Gatlin?
Yes.
Hold on, baby. Let me give you that good intro. Hold on, Justin, because you ain't just anybody. Hold on. Stand still. Stay right there. Stay right there where you are. Don't move. Stand there, right there. Okay, first of all, y'all, let me tell y'all something, okay? In 2006, this man was the world's fastest man, not the country, not the state, the world's fastest man in the 100 meter. I don't want to hear nothing.
Wow.
Let me say this other thing I got to say, because this is why I love you. You know, I watched this race against Usain Bolt. I'll probably watch this race about 527 times. I still watch to this day. My boy came after being suspended for some BS, okay?
Yeah.
Came back, ran against Usain, who was the fastest man at that time. But you had already been the fastest man at that time. Came back. The stands was booing you, but I was at home going crazy for you, Justin. And that boy blew Usain Bolt out the water. And the whole time they was up there getting ready, I was going, go, go. And then when you fell to the knees, I fell with you. But anyways, Justin Mofo Gatlin. Period. Hold on.
I appreciate that.
Wait a minute. Fan. And he's a 5-time Olympic gold medal, bronze medal winner. So for me, because I'm big on athletes, you've just been someone that I love and admire for not just because you win in all these Olympics because you're tenacious and you don't mess around. You didn't take no for no answer. You came back. When they booed you, you shut them we can't curse on here, but you shut them up. And I love you for that.
And I appreciate that. I didn't even know you knew all that. Look at that. You know what? I feel special. I feel real special. Look at that.
Yes, but look, so we've been talking about black fathers, right? And this false narrative of black men not being fathers or not showing up. And I beg to differ. I think black men are actually amazing fathers, are stepping up a lot more. We got 2 amazing fathers here. Willie Moe Jr. over here.
Big fan, big dog, former track runner, man.
What's going on?
Yep,
right,
sure.
And we got Ryan King. So we got daddies on here who are real fathers. And I want to ask you, what do you think about black fathers, and how do you think they're showing up differently now? And then for you, I mean, what's so important for you and to you as a black man in fatherhood?
I think that black fathers are the parallel to what black females are for us, right? They're very powerful, right? And why I say that is because black fathers, they grow their children to understand what it is to be strong. But also the fact of we have to teach our kids what true adversity is. Because as you grow, it doesn't matter if you have a GED or a PhD, you are going to face something that's going to set you back. You're going to be called words and names, all kind of stuff throughout your life. At some point in time, you're going to be looked at different no matter how successful you are. And we all know. All the people that's sitting there right there in that panel right now know that you got to work twice as hard just to be recognized just as an equal. And I think as a black father, a true black father, those are things that you have to teach your kids. How to be successful, how to be humble, but also don't take no crap.
And no matter whether they booing you or they're clapping for you, show the hell up. Because that's what you did. I love you for that. I love you for that. I'll never forget that. So can we get a drop from you real quick, Justin? Just say who you are and say you're watching True Talks.
I'm Olympic gold medalist Justin Gatlin, one of the fastest men in history, and you're watching True Talks.
Come through.
Talk your fastest man in history.
We ain't saying with you.
on them skates.
Look, what's up?
How you doing? boy.
I love
Hey,
that.
this boy's Justin the truth.
Yes. I love you. I appreciate you. Listen, y'all, my guy's in Jamaica. He literally on vacation took this call.
That's what's up.
Yeah, thank
Listen,
you.
well, hold on. But they don't know we finna be in Tulum in a minute.
That's what I'm talking about. Tulum, Cabo, we going. Where we going? We going all. We got a party now.
We got a party. All right. Love you so much. I appreciate you. I'll hit you in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
He's so fast. We gonna call
Fast
him.
as man. What?
Hey, that boy the truth though.
Hey.
Yeah.
Is he not?
Yeah.
Willie, I knew you was. I said,
he
y'all
the
gonna know. I didn't
truth.
know she would, but I was like, Ryan and y'all.
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I was in the heat with him. He ran like 9.97. I ran like 10.21. That man was way in front.
Hey,
All
and
I seen was buttholes and elbows.
His best is
Wait a minute,
9.76.
hold on a
He
second,
was
man.
9.76 when he
but-
won. But did you see the race when he ran against
Yeah.
Usain Bolt?
Yeah.
And they were just, I mean, they were like competitors, like for their entire career.
Yeah.
When he came up there, every single person in the audience, Ryan, was booing this man, like, oh, I mean, like booing.
Yeah.
And to drown out the freaking chatter, get on your blocks and say, man, I'm about to shut everybody up in this. Boy, I said, this is my alter ego right
I
here.
don't know how you could boo anybody like that, because in order to be that fast, that shows discipline not only
That's right.
on the track but off the track. You got to be eating right, doing everything right, even when you're not on that field.
Well, we got to show our discipline tonight and end this show.
Hey!
And that's our show for tonight. And we want to thank everybody for commenting on YouTube and, of course, on Fox Soul. So make sure you watch us each and every night, Monday through Friday, at 8 Eastern time. So that's it, man. We'll talk to you soon. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Shout out to all the black dads.
All the black fathers.